What is up, SP and family and YouTube alike? And I'm sorry because I've missed all of this, but happy Halloween, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and Merry Christmas alike. Happy 2018, happy mid-January, whatever. And my birthday was here too, was that back there too. Yeah, we've missed a lot. We're so far behind on these, but we're going to keep it moving and we'll get caught up. I hope. Who knows? At least maybe by the end of the season, we'll be caught up. So then when y'all, binge the season on Netflix, you can watch my reviews after each episode. Or series of reviews like you would. That'd be great. Just binge my reviews right after you binge the season. That'd be perfect. That would work. Yeah. So, we're gonna just go ahead, roll the credits, start the review, because I'm not allowing anybody to come out. I was gonna, but no. Nobody. Not this time. I think. By the way, I'm Meta Wolf, and we're back. Me, Dude Wolf, White Wolf, Shinu, and Emo Wolf are now back. But that's another story. This is Supernatural, Season 14, Episode number 6, entitled Optimism. So let's begin. After my useless display of credits that probably chased you off. Good. Welcome back. Those who stick around, bonus points. And go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, all that good crap. Share with your friends. You know the drill. Everybody says this stuff all the time. Anyways, so the episode starts off with a recap from what's happened so far. In a nice little synopsis scene with a ticking clock counting down. And then we cut to some light little town. I forgot the name of it already. But I'm sitting there looking at this and I'm like, okay, when did Supernatural cross over into Riverdale? But that's cool. I like Riverdale now, too. And this episode, this week, wow. But that's not about that. That's about Supernatural. So let's continue. There's a girl walking along, and she goes into a library. She gets tapped on the shoulder by somebody, and she screams. And he talks to her, and they're sharing feelings and all kinds of stuff. Another guy comes along with a stapler, actually, acting like it was a staple gun, trying to shoot the opposition with a stapler. Okay. But he comes along, and he's sticking up for the girl, and the other guy's talking, and they've known each other, whatever. This is like some kind of weird high school reunion in a library, and I don't know what's happening. So, that's okay, though. So we continue on. Guy sets a date with the girl, and he goes parading off, happy, striding down the street. They're playing that little disco walk song. You can tell by the way I move my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Yeah. I think it's Staying Alive. I'm not sure. Whatever. Yeah. So they're playing that, and then all of a sudden, guy's mouth gets grabbed, and he's snatched up into the woods, and blood flies everywhere, and we cut to the intro segment that I walked out of, and We continue from there after these messages. And now we are back. So, we open on the scene of Jack drinking some coffee and Dean walking in, returning from a trip. Apparently, Dean had been visiting the good ship Barry. Hashtag Barry. Yes, Mary and Bobby. Dean had been visiting, working a case, but we know he was visiting. And he went to visit them, and he returned, and they're talking about Sam, and they cut over. And this was kind of interesting how they did this in this scenario. They first would cut over, they talked about Sam, and they cut over to show what he was doing. And Sam's sitting on a stakeout with Charlie, doing nothing. And then they cut back to Dean and Jack talking, and they cut back. They did this cut back and forth a couple times, showing what Sam was doing at the same time they were talking, and it was funny. Then eventually we have, Dean call Sam. Well, anyways, we had a conversation with Jack and Dean about how Jack failed to kill Michael, Dean failed to stop Michael, all that stuff. But, they both blame themselves, and, they're trying to get things in order, and they decide that they're going to work a case. And that takes us back to where we began the episode in Superdale. See what I did there? All right. So, we continue on with Jack and Dean working the case. We get a moment with new Charlie. Really great to see Felicia Day. Oh, I love Felicia Day. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And so we got a talk with Sam and new Charlie about what happened with the apocalypse and all that. And there's some emotions, a lot of emotions. It's sad. It's really sad. And a lot of stuff happens there for a second. And we have Jack and Dean working the case in the little town. And they're finding out about the woman. And apparently she's bad luck. They interview several people from town. And they all tell the same story. It's funny how they're just telling the story as they're cutting through different people. And it was pretty cool how they did that. So we have Dean and Jack go to meet the girl. And they decided it was a plan. And they decided to go ahead with Dean being bad cop. And he's actually acting like an FBI agent. Yeah, whatever. Dean being bad cop, Jack being good, being chivalrous, stepping in, and courting the girl. Interesting. So, yes, we have crossed over into Riverdale now. And our little Archie, Jack, is flirting with the girl. And as Dean's walking away, we also have a run-in with the same guy from earlier, with the stapler and all that. And, Dean's walking along, and the guy from earlier was attacked, bled out on the ground. And we cut away from there, and we return after these messages. And we're back. Nah, I'm just playing. We didn't really go anywhere. And no, I'm not having to jump cut every quarter of the episode to film the review. I'm not trying to do that. Not having to do that. Not at all. No. So, we cut back onto the scene of Sam and Charlie talking in the car. And Charlie explains that she wants to retire. She hates hunting. They also talk about how many books she's going to read. She's going to read all of them, and she's going to retire from hunting and go live in a cabin somewhere away from everyone and try to live a happy life and forget about all the horror out there. And Sam tries to explain that that's never going to work. And we have the moment between them two. They kind of look like they're shipping, but nah. Charlie's gay, so yeah. So, they're having a good time. They're having a boring time trying to figure out what's going on with this hunt, where people are going missing. And we come back to Jack and the girl, Harper, I believe her name was, and she takes him back to her house to find the book to give him that she talked about previously. Yes, I know I'm missing all kinds of details as we go about this, but let's just continue on. So we continue on. Jack is doing all the tests. He puts a silver coin on the floor. He douses himself with holy water. And she comes back to talk. And she finds the coin on the floor, picks it up, doesn't burn. She touches his hand, doesn't burn. And then he says, Christo, with a cough. You know, they do this in Supernatural often. They'll cough and they'll be like, Christo, you know, and trying to say Christo in order to see if a demon will flinch as they say it. You know, if I was in that situation, I probably wouldn't have very much money. So, but if I was in that situation, I'd probably be like, if I was not sure about somebody, I'd probably be like, hey, you want to go get a Monte Cristo sandwich? And yeah, come up in casual conversation. You don't got to do the silly cough thing, but the silly cough thing's great. It's funny. So we continue on from there. We go back to Sam and Charlie in the car talking about the case they're working, and she finds a book and brings up a Muska. Apparently, it is a fly monster person. And Sam finishes talking about the Muska. And she's like, how many books did you read? And he's like, I have read all of them. And she calls him a nerd. And it's funny. But yes, apparently they're going to hunt a fly monster. So, I guess we should be looking for Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. Alright. Well, as they're talking, the Muska, a shadowy figure draped in all kinds of hooded wear sits on a bench, and they witness it, and they're curious. And we cut back to Dean and Jack's case. At one point, it was funny because the girl says, do you believe in true love? And love at first sight, and Jack goes to the bathroom. So anyways, she and Jack are in the house, and he sees a picture of her old boyfriend, and then Dean was attacked by something, and he runs into the house to protect them. And he's like, I thought it was a ghost, but then it punched me. And he now believes it is a zombie or walking, resurrected, dead. And they got to figure out how to kill it. And as he busts in the door, the zombie does, Dean looks at him and says, hey, Archie! And I was just making Riverdale references, and now Dean calls the resurrected zombie varsity football player Archie. And I think he was even redheaded. Yeah. And that was funny. So they scamper out of the place. Dean's like, he's got a plan to end it. And Jack and the girl wind up back at the library. Now, as Jack and the girl are hiding at the library, waiting for Dean to chase down Vance, her dead ex-boyfriend, that's a resurrected zombie, as they're running from him, they're hiding out in the library, and she asks Jack if he locked the doors as Vance is wandering around about outside of the library. And Jack says, she asks him if he flipped the little switch under the door. And Jack's like, no. And she's like, I'll do it. And then he tries to stop her. But she goes to the door. And Undead Archie looks into the window and sees her. She sees him. And she unlocks the door and lets him in. And then Undead Archie commences to trying to tear Jack apart, knocking him about and whatnot. The girl runs off. Well, apparently, the girl then gets on the loudspeaker, and tells Jack that she might have been in love with him, but now he has to die because Vance is her boyfriend. Her undead zombie boyfriend. And the sweet girl all along was the thing they were hunting. Wow. That's a trip. Kind of saw it coming. Maybe. But that was pretty cool. Messed up. Pretty messed up. And we continue on from there. Well, eventually, Dean runs into the library and finds out what's happening. Has a shotgun. Vance comes after him. Gets shot. Falls down. The girl screams. And we have a little fight between them. Also, Sam and Charlie found Jeff Goldblum and improvised and killed him. Sam and Charlie killed the Muska, and they start having a conversation. I'm just going to wrap this up. Okay. So Sam and Charlie have a conversation about her trying to leave and retire, and Sam asks her to not retire, and you know, he's compared her to the fly monster, and she's like, I'm nothing like the fly monster. And you know, they have some funniness there. And we have the woman is a necromancer. The girl was a necromancer. She got away. Toward the end of the episode, she's writing a love letter, psychotic love letter to Jack. Dean tells Jack love can get even crazier than that. And they have a moment where Dean and Jack are talking about making mistakes and moving on and all that good stuff, and not blaming yourself for them. So they both come to a mutual realization and start to feel better. Except now, Jack's coughing blood. He coughs and coughs and coughs blood. His nose is bleeding, and he collapses on the floor. Dean runs over to him, screaming for him. And that's where the episode ended. Until next episode. And I was very, very pissed at the time. Just as all of you were. And so, that wraps it up. Supernatural Season 14, Episode number 6, entitled Optimism. And I will say, all in all, pretty good episode. They did some interesting stuff with cutting between the scenes like they did, and that was pretty cool. And yeah, basically throughout the entire episode, they were cutting back and forth between Dean and Jack's case and Sam and Charlie's case, and all working it all together. And it was a very good episode. And that'll be it. This will be Wolf420 saying, see you next time. And always keep fighting. Have an awesome day. Be excellent to each other. And as always, people, peace out.